The first thing is to ensure we install Mendeley into a computer. Open your browser, search Mendeley. From the search results, you want to select Mendeley site. It will take you to this download website. Now, this download website has all the elements of Mendeley that you need to make it operational. You are going to need 3 tools. The first tool is called Mendeley Reference Manager. This will be installed into your computer. The second tool is called Mendeley Site. This will be installed into your Word document. And the other tool is called Web Importer. This will be installed into your browser extension. Now let us start with the first one. When you click Mendeley Reference Manager, you will see this appearance. You just click download. Now it will download based on the type of the computer you have. If you have a Mac computer, if you have a Windows computer, all of them are going to be installed. If you have a Linux computer, all of them are compatible. Now I will not download this directly because I already have Mendeley. I just direct you on how to do it. So download the first one, be installed into your computer. Come to Mendeley site. As I said, this will be installed into your Word document. As you can see here, it will be installed as an add-in inside your computer. Then the other one is a web importer. Web importer will be installed into your browser as an extension. So in my case, I'm using a Chrome browser. If you are using a Firefox browser, you are using a Web Explorer browser, and so on and so forth, all of those are going to be installed, and it will appear like this. If you can see this Mendeley is written Mendeley Web Importer is the one here. Now for the computer, it will appear like this. This is a Mendeley Reference Manager for the computer. That's how it will appear. Now, once you have it, the next step is you will be required to register your Mendeley using your email and a password. It's a very simple process, but I will not demonstrate it because I already have mine registered. But this is how it will appear. It will give you a space like this to put an email. You put a password and you put your username, whichever you choose. If you want to register with your institution, you select sign in via institution. You click. If you already have an account, you will log in. If you don't have an account, it will give you a chance to put an email. You going to select your institution, your university. You put a student email, and then you put a password, and that's all. So that's the first step. The first step, we already have Mendeley. We have installed it into the 3 sites that we have talked about in your computer, in your browser extension, and in your Word document. This is how Mendeley will appear from the computer. This is how it will appear. It doesn't have any references in the library. It's just blank because you need to populate references yourself. The appearance here, you see on the left hand side, these are the key items or the key groupings of different references that you are going to feed into your library. Now the first part here, this is where all the references that you have are going to appear. Now in our case, we don't have any references yet. This is where you are going to have recently added. So if you add a reference today, it will appear in the recently added, recently read, my favorite references, my publication, whatever you delete will come to trash, and so on and so forth. Then you have a collection here and you have a group. Now these collection and group are very important because they help you to arrange your references based on the type of work you are doing, on maybe the topic you are doing, or on based on a section of a paper that you are doing. For example, if you are doing a research paper, you will have many sections of a paper. For example, you have introductory part, you have a literature review part, you have a research methodology part, you have a data part, and you have a discussion part. All those parts can be categorized such that you're going to have references clustered for each. What you need to do, you just need to come to new group here. If you are doing a research paper, you're going to call it, the new group will be introduction. Then you just click enter. Once you click enter, it will appear here. So when you click this, you'll see here the handle changes to introduction. This is how you can be able to save all your references for introduction part. You can add another group here. This is the theory part, or what you call the literature review part. So you say this is literature review. you just click that group, click outside. So literature review part, you click on it. It's a new group by itself. Then you'll have here, you have a research, you have a research methodology part. You put all your research methodology part references here. So this helps you, this grouping helps you to organize your references based on the section of a bigger paper that you are working on. Now, you don't have to keep categories for one large paper. You could also keep a category for different essays. So if you are doing an essay on, let's say your essay is the first assignment, you just come here and say you want to add a group, and this group will be called first assignment. So you put all the references for the first assignment here. If you click on it, you can see it's appearing. So you put all the references of first assignment here, and so on and so forth. Now, we have understood everything that we need to understand on the left-hand side panel of Mendeley Reference Manager. Now, let's come at the top here. At the top here, we have the author or authors. You have year, you have title, you have source, you have added, and you have file. Author means the author or the name of the person who wrote an article or who wrote a book that you want to reference or that you have added into your Mendeley library. So the name of the author will appear here. The year when that book or that article was published will appear here. The title of that book or article will appear here. The source will appear here. When you added it, this means the date. When you added it, will appear here. And if there is a file, let's say it's a PDF, you'll have an opportunity to see a PDF appearing next to the reference that you're going to add. So references are going to list themselves downward as many as you can. You can add limitlessly. So this library does not limit you. You can add all the references that you want. Now, we have understood the general appearance and the operationalization of Mendeley Reference Manager. Let us look at how do we use Reference Manager. The first thing is for us to understand how do we add references. And this small tab here called Add has all the functions that you need to use to be able to add references into your Mendeley library. Now, the first method is adding files from a computer. Now, if you click this option, it will take you directly into your computer, and you can be able to select references that you want to use or you want to add. For example, I want to add these two references. One is article 2 and the other one is article. So I'll just click open. Mendeley is going to load. You can see it loading very fast down here, and it's going to add both references and indicate the name of the author or the authors, as you can see here, the year when it was published, the title, the source, the date when I have added. You can see here I've added it at 1949. You can see there. And the file, because the file is available, I can easily be able to download that particular file by simply clicking on it, and it will take me into a preview of the file that I just uploaded, and I can read from it, and so on and so forth. So that's just a simple illustration of how you can add using method number 1. Now, method number 2 is called Add Entry Manually. You just click on Add Entry Manually. Now, in Add Entry Manually, you can be able to add using identifiers such as DOI or PMID, which are very common for most of the peer-reviewed articles. Now, let's look at how we can do that. Let's go to our browser. Now, from our browser, I had identified some topics relating to COVID-19 and education, and this is one of the peer-reviewed you can have in the Journal of Medicine. This is a National Center for Biotechnology Information. One way is to add using a DOI. Now, this is a digital or online identifier. So you just copy this. This is called a DOI number. You can highlight it like this, and then you can copy it. Then you go to our Mendeley, and we add it there by just pasting, and then you search. Once you search, you can see here metadata have been found, and it fills everything, including the name of the authors, the name of the journal, when it was published, the volume, the issue number, the month, and so on and so forth. So we just need to click Add Entry, and as you can see here, the entry has been added, automatically. Okay, let us do that for once more. So we come to the reference that we want to add to our library. We select the reference. Now for this time, let us work with this. We select our reference. We want to use this reference. You just click on it, then you copy. Once you copy, you come to your Mendeley Reference Manager. You click add. You add manually. Then you just click search. And then you search there, then you see the metadata have been found. It means that Mendeley was able to generate the actual information of that particular article based on the DOI that you have provided. Then you just click to add the entry, and as you can see here, the entry has been added up here. So that's simple. So far we have talked about 2 steps of populating your Mendeley library. So now we've understood the most basic ways of populating your reference manager from inside the reference manager. There is still one more way which is more convenient of populating your references, which is working from your browser. When you are on your browser, you just need to identify the article that you want to add. For example, you want to add this article written by these authors. So what you need to do, you just need to come to your web importer here. You click on web importer. Now the web importer will always require you to sign in. Remember, once you sign in all the web in all the 3 packages, you will not be required to keep signing in again. But you're going to sign in with the same details that you registered with. Once you click sign in, it's going to detect your password and email. If you have saved it on your browser, you'll just click OK, and then in less than a minute you'll see that the Mendeley has opened and your references has ended itself here. Once that is done, once you can see here, you don't need to do anything else. That reference is added. You can come to another reference here, literature review on impact of COVID-19 pandemic on teaching and learning. You just click your Mendeley web importer here, and as you can see, our literature review on impact of COVID-19 has been added, and that's it. You don't need to do anything else. You can also do the same for articles that are not peer reviewed. Something like something that you cannot download, like when you have an online source. For example, this is an online source. This is an online source, probably from a blog. So what you need to do, you just click the same icon here. Notice that when you are clicking this icon, ensure your tab is refreshed, such that Mendeley can be able to correct the most recent data concerning that particular article. So once you have all the references here, what you need to do, you need to select the references that you want to add into your library. As you can see, you can just highlight all of them, or you can highlight selectively. If you don't want to add all of them, you can highlight, I want to add that, I want to add that reference, and I want to add that reference, and I also want to add that reference. Then you click add. You give it a moment, and all your references are going to indicate a tick here, reference, when it's added. And as you can see, it has done the processing. If you come back here to your Mendeley, you'll see that your references have increased. There are many of them. That means what you have just added has been captured in our database. Now there is one more thing you can do. Assume now you are reading through your references and you want to capture some information that you don't want to forget concerning a particular reference. Let's assume this reference by Barnes has something that you need to capture. What you need to do, you just need to click to highlight the reference. Just highlight. You can highlight using this marker here. Then you see this is a summary of the information of that particular article. Now you can annotate that article by having it highlighted here. Come to annotation and adding something specific concerning that particular selection of an article. So you say here, this is an article on impact of COVID-19. So you would say here, this is a COVID-19, probably it's talking about COVID-19 on businesses. That's something important that you want to reflect in your discussion or in your essay. Now you can also have a notebook here. A notebook helps you to keep tab or to to keep tab or to highlight important things that you think are very important and you don't want to forget them once you are doing your research. So you can click notebook from here, or you can click notebook from here, and it will give you an opportunity to add a page, delete a page once you have highlighted the number of lessons that you want to comment about. Now, the information part here gives you an opportunity to preview a PDF. So you can click on the PDF here, you can select to click on the PDF, and it will show you the preview, not actually the preview, but this is the entire PDF containing the information regarding that particular article. Now, assume you want to mark something specific from this article and you want to come back later and learn more about it, or you don't want to forget where you got some important fact regarding the topic or the subject matter you are discussing. You just open your PDF through the method I've shown you. You will just need to come and highlight here. You can highlight your information here. Now to highlight, you just click the highlight. You can change the color if you want to highlight different sections using different color. You just need to highlight. If you don't want to highlight using yellow, you just need to come here at the top. You select you want to highlight using red. Then when you select anything, you can just click highlight and it will be highlighted in red. Now, this is an important part because it gives you an opportunity to keep track of important elements that you want to do research on. The same way, once you have highlighted a section, you can right click on it to add a sticky note. And now this sticky note is probably a summary or probably a point or probably a keynote that you don't want to forget in the process of doing your research, probably in the future, or when you want to come back and review your materials. You want to keep track of every element that you have found in your peer-reviewed article. So it gives you an option to highlight the text that you want to keep track of. Change the color using this approach, and at the same time you can just click on it. You can just right click on it and add a sticky note, or you can just highlight and come here to this part. It will still give you an option to add a sticky note. So that's basically how you use Zotero from the inside. You can annotate, you can create a notebook. Now this notebook is a good opportunity for you to add new pages containing probably summaries, points in bullet points, summarized opinion, summarized facts, summarized data, all that you're going to correct from that particular reference. Now that we understand how to use, to exit, you just close from here. Now that we've understood what we can be able to do with this reference from the inside, let us see where the Word document comes in. Now, if we may open our Word document, through this new Word document, we want to do something that is important. Okay, so let us expand this. So we want to access the same references. We can add some dummy text here, text of 5 paragraphs, each with 8 sentences. Then we have our text here. So the assumption is that this is the paper you're working on, and you want to add the references that we just generated from Mendeley. What you want to do, remember in our discussion for Mendeley, we said you're going to install 3 tools. One of the tools was coming to Microsoft Office, Word. Another tool was going to your browser, and another tool was going directly into your computer. And I've shown all how the two are going to work. That is the web importer, and I've also shown you how the Mendeley Reference Manager for computer is going to work. Now I want to show you, now that you have references in your library, in your Mendeley library, how do you bring them into your Word document? So the assumption is that this is your text and this is what you are working on. We want to add some reference here. You want to come into References tab, and at the References tab you can see your Mendeley site is available here. Now this is the one that appeared once you installed your Mendeley site extension from the download page that I showed you. If you're using it for the first time, it will obviously require you to log in. But if you have already used it, you will not be logging in every now and then. So you just need to log in once, and it will not log you out again. the reason why it is requiring you to log in all the three elements is because it wants to synchronize your references such that you don't have to miss some references that you already saved. As you can see, we have very current references regarding COVID-19, COVID-19. So they are going to follow each other based on how soon you added them. Starting from the top, this is the most recently added references, moving downward. Now we want to learn how to cite. We are already in our document, as you can see, and we want to add some citation into this particular document. Now the first thing you want to do is to come to, you can see the references here. The other thing you need to do is to come to citation setting. Now this requires you to select the citation style that you want to use. In most cases, the student in UK, Canada, and Australia are going to use a referencing style called Harvard. Students in America and other places are going to use a style called APA, or the American Psychological Association, 7th edition, or another called MLA. All of those references are available here. If you cannot see a reference here, you just come here to search another style, start typing here, and it will appear immediately. Now in our case, let us stick to APA. So we've already selected APA. So our citation style has already been set. It is APA. You can come to a citation language. We are already working with citation language of US. You can change it to UK, Australia, and so on and so forth. So we can assume that we have done with our citation setting. Now if you come back to our references, this is where we see all the references that we have. If you want to select a specific reference, remember what I told you about grouping. You just need to come and click on this. This is showing all the references. If you want to filter a specific category of references, like recently added, you just click that, and you have this because I've just added them recently. If you want to go to a specific category of group that you added and you called it assignment 1, you're going to click assignment 1, and there is no reference saved in assignment 1 because we didn't save any. So you would want to go to all the references that gives you all the references that are available in your library. Now from these references, because you know these articles knowledge has been obtained from which author, you come and select your author. You just click once there. You're going to select your author, and this is how the author will be inserted here. Burns ETL 2020. You just click insert citation, and as you can see, Burn has been inserted here. So that's the first author we have added. We have added Burn. We can probably add another author somewhere here. We can add another somewhere here. Let's add this author here. We click insert author. So that author has been inserted. Then we can come here, add another author. Probably let's try to add 2 authors. Then we click insert. As you can see here, both authors have been added. Then we can come and probably add one more author at the end of the document. You're going to click insert. So generally this makes your work extremely easy to manage all your references, and at the same time, remember, if you've written some context here and you want to go and verify if that is true, you can always check the title of the reference that you want to use. Probably you want to confirm something regarding this particular reference. You can just copy the title here, and you go to your reference manager here, Mendeley Reference Manager, and from this you can search. You can click search here, and you can paste your reference there. So this gives you an opportunity to manage all your references in a very systematic way. Now once you are done, you always have a reference at the bottom, what you call the bibliography. So you come here and say references, and you click references, and what you want to do, you want to insert bibliography. As you can see here, these 3 dots here are very important because they can help you to do more settings, update your library. If you click, it's going to refresh. If you have added new references in your reference manager here, they are going to appear here automatically. And this is an important part once you are done inserting all the in-text citation. Now, these references here, all of these references here are called in-text citation. But at the bottom of the document, at the end of the document, you want to provide the full references for those in-text citations. So you need to come to click insert bibliography, but you must put the cursor where you want the bibliography to appear, and then you just click insert bibliography, and then it shows you bibliography will be inserted in the location of the cursor. And this is how your bibliography are going to appear. So the other work you are left with is to do some simple formatting, and generally that's how you're going to have a very efficient way of managing all your references. So I hope it was clear, step by step, beginning with how to install your Mendeley, and also understanding that you are going to require 3 elements. You can have your work very easy if you add your web importer, but remember it's not necessary. You can skip the web importer, but it is important for you to have the reference manager here, Mendeley Reference Manager, installed into your computer, and have a Mendeley site installed into your Word document, because this is the one that is going to help you to synchronize all the references saved in your library and bring them closer into your Word document, such that your work will be very simple by putting the cursor where you want your reference, selecting the reference that you want to add, and of course after doing some settings based on your language, either it is UK language, Australia English, US English, and the citation style you want to do, and your reference will just pop up. And it's as easy as that. Once you're done, you just go to adding your bibliography, and they'll be arranged in alphabet. As you can see, everything is done for you systematically, and it's as easy as that. So that is the most professional way of using Mendeley site to help you manage all your academic sources. So I hope the process was simple. I hope you're able to follow step by step. In case of anything you'd like me to repeat or clarify, you can leave a comment and I'll read through. Thank you.